esteemed viewers, I welcome you on today's fresh edition on Biafra Discuss. I still remain Asuzu Chinedu Peters. Today, I am bringing to you two important videos. Number one is President Mohamed Buhari's first ever response to Nnamdi Kanu's claim about him being cloned or doubled by a man called Jubril from Sudan. I want you to take a look at this video and I'll be right back to punch on it.
Yes, that's one important question. I seem to forget about it because the answers of that question must be ignorant and irreligious. Somebody thought that I am cloned. No wonder I forgot it until I was reminded by it. Yes, a lot of people hoped that I was dead. And hoped I died. And poor Vice President, and some people have started, in fact, asking for his office whether he should consider them for being the Vice President because I was dead. They must have embarrassed him a lot because he visited me when I was London convalescent. But it's really me, I assure you. I will soon celebrate my 76th birthday, and I'm still going strong. I only get harassed by my grandchildren, they are getting too many.
You have seen that? But before I dive into Buhari's and Jubril controversy, I want you to take a look at the second video from Asari Dokubo. In his related video, he had advised our brother Nnamdi Kanu and other pro-Biafran group leaders. I want you to take a look at this video and I'll be right back to wrap it up.
Fellow Biafrans and compatriots, our goal is the freedom of the motherland. Our goal is not celebrations and deification of individuals and appropriation of the collective struggle of our people by an individual or a group of individuals or an organization. The Biafran struggle is for the freedom of the collectivity of all Biafrans. And as such, whatever abuse, whatever name calling, I am not bothered. I know that at the end of the day, there will be either victory or death. Either we win or we die. But we have to clear some misconceptions. We have to clear some misconceptions. I repeat, we have to clear some misconceptions. These misconceptions are that people who are fighting for freedom does not get involved in political participation. I do not belong to any of the major political party of PDP or APC. I don't. But I know that General Mohamed Buhari is an enemy of our people. And he has so said it, he has so demonstrated it, he has killed our people who are harmless, who have not taken up arms to attack or kill or maim any Nigerian. While he has severally shown and set free those who are daily killing his own kind and our people. He's setting them free, he's giving them money, billions of money that comes from our land. Let us come to the very touchy issue of electoral boycott. It is standing history on its head for anybody to say that we should boycott election because it goes on in other places. It's a lie. In Catalan today, the pro-Catalan Independent Party is contesting election even after the imperialist Spanish government had dissolved parliament, dissolved government, cancelled the election. They still contested and they won the election and they're in power. The pro-independent Scottish Party is contesting election. They continue to contest election and control the government of Scotland. the pro-independent Northern Highland Party, the Irish Republican Army, and its political wing, the Sinn Féin, is contesting election. PLO, Fatah, Islamic Jihad, Hamas, who are pro-independent parties or organizations in Palestine, they are contesting elections. Tell us where. Even FARC in Colombia, they are participating in the election today. So tell us where. Those who involved. How can we give resources to empower the hands of the enemies of our struggle? I am not from Anambra State. But if we are going to vote in Anambra State, Ibano will not be there. Ibano is an enemy of our people. Today, he has some alliance with General Mohamed Buhari, or is double that is in Aso Rock. Because I do not believe that the man in Aso Rock is General Mohamed Buhari. I don't believe that. So when people tell us the truth, we don't want to accept. We want to impose our will, which is not working, which is anti our people. We frighten our people, but we run away from the soldiers. We run away from the occupation forces. We run away from the police. Why would we do that? Who are we deceiving? Finally, no outsider can give us freedom. None. No outsider can give us freedom. They have not done it anywhere. It is we, with our show of valor and commitment, that can give ourselves freedom. Nobody can give us freedom. And it is not by wishful thinking. It is not by dividing us. Our big brother Rafa Wazuke is doing very well. I know him. He's in this struggle. Nobody has bribed him. I have not spoken to Rafa Wazuke for the past 3 months. He's alive. I have not spoken to him, but I know him. I stood trial with him. I was arrested, put under SSS underground cell. And after that, we were in trial. I was in detention, underground, 22 months, 10 days. I've been arrested several times. He has gone through all these things for the cause of our people. We are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for the collectivity of our people and generation yet unborn. Biafra belongs to all of us. Let no individual, group of individual or organization appropriate the totality of our struggle to themselves.
Well, we have seen the 2 videos. Let me start with that controversial Jubril Buhari issue. Since the resurface of Nnamdi Kanu in Israel and his recent broadcasts, which have been dominated by Jubril controversy, I have deliberately decided not to get myself involved in that controversial issue. I have my personal reasons for that. But whatsoever the case might be, I want to join Asari Dokubo in advising my own big brother, Nnamdi Kanu. Honestly speaking, I will tell you, you have done so well to Biafra cause by bringing it to the front burner through an active media propagation, through an active media crusade. But I want to tell you this. Whomever that is advising you to trade on this controversial issue of Jubril or Buhari controversy is not doing you any good. It's not advising you any good. Honestly speaking, it is a complete distraction from the Biafra quest for self-determination. Many may not tell you this, but I will tell you this. You know, here on this platform, we say it the way it is. My brother Nnamdi Kanu have done so wonderfully well when it comes to Biafra agitation, bringing it to the front burner and making it a topical issue among nations. But I must say that the issue of Jubril and the election boycott is one thing that have seriously made the Biafra agitation to look childish. I think at this point that my brother Nnamdi Kanu will heed to the advice from another big brother, Asari Dokubo. You know the role Asari Dokubo played. You know and understand better during your travail in Nigeria. You understand that the Biafra agitation is not just for any particular group of persons or any group within the Biafra agitation. It is not about any individual. It is about our collective freedom as a people. And as such, I'll join Asari Dokubo in his own advice to you in his own video that no one should assume monopoly of knowing all, of having what it takes to restore Biafra. I think at this time, without mentioning word, that you, my big brother Nnamdi Kanu, should henceforth concentrate on what the Biafran people are asking for. That is their freedom. If you're talking about referendum, tell us how you're going to get it. If you're talking about diplomatic engagement, tell us how we are going to get it. If you have any articulated plan of action on how to restore Biafra as a free nation, I think it is high time you use the time you spend on Jubril controversy, concentrate it on the Biafra agitation. Because this Jubril is a total departure from our agitation. If you think otherwise, come up to tell us how you think that your Jubril controversy will give Biafran people their much needed freedom. Honestly speaking, those who he is playing the game with knows better. I understand. Despite the fact I try to avoid this, but I must say this. If peradventure that Jubril is actually Jubril and not Buhari, do you think that Atiku, the PDP, the big mouth of PDP, I'm talking about FFK, will just keep mute? In this 21st century, people are still thinking like those in the dark age. I don't want those to get distracted, and I don't want to justify whether or not he is Buhari or Jubril. All these are total nonsense. It is a complete distraction, a complete diversion from the Biafra agitation for freedom. So I want you to restore back the dignity which you have earned for yourself through a wonderful and very active media engagement. Concentrate on the plan, if you have any, on how Biafra will be restored. And let us not be distracted by Jubril. That is it on the Jubril issue. Now, to what Asari said. I wouldn't come here to repeat what Asari have made emphatically clear in a clear term. But I want to say this. This is what we have been saying on this platform for God knows how long. I have said it without mentioning word, that independence agitation is a political process. It is a political process. If you say otherwise, you are just like saying that you want to go to heaven, but you want to be alive here on earth. If we must get freedom, we must engage in the political process. And some people might have mistaken the political process to be engaging in Nigerian politics. That is not what we're saying. We're saying we have to engage in a political process that will get the Biafran people to be in control of their land politically, because it is the political power that controls economic power, and it is the economic power that the world are interested in. They are not interested in the killings of our people. They are not interested in the marginalization of our people. They are not interested in the impunity happening in Nigeria. They are interested in their economic interest in Nigeria. And the only time the world, the international communities, Britain, Germany, America, and the rest of them will start listening to the Biafran people is when they are in control of their economic power. And you cannot be in control of your economic power without having control of your political power. There is no doubt about it. And I don't think at this point we should be rigmaroling on these issues. I think we should stop agitating. We should start engaging in the real warfare. And the real warfare starts with you taking over power. You can't take over power by boycotting. You can't wait for this kind of politicians you're seeing within the Biafran land to give you Biafra. You can't boycott. I heard someone say that Nnamdi Kanu said during his broadcast, because I didn't actually listen to it, but somebody posted that Nnamdi Kanu said that that you boycott elections to force the politicians to listen to your plight. That is arrant nonsense. Honestly speaking, with due respect to my brother, if he actually said that, but I didn't hear him say that too, though. But if he actually said that, this is complete rubbish. The politicians, they are dancing and drinking champagne on our decisions not to engage them in politics, to expel them from Biafran land politically. Take over your land politically, get control of your economic resources, and be in charge to negotiate with the international community. That is their interest. And for anyone to think, just like Asari said, that Biafra independence, you have monopoly of how it is going to go, the direction is going to go, and the decisions that will be taken, I think you are making a very big mistake. Please, let us at this time try to work together as one. Let us forget our differences. Let us understand our individual opinions on how to get this freedom done once and for all and get our people free. Please, I want to state this emphatically clear, that it is high time we start working together. It is high time we start mapping out clear plan of action and start executing them one after the other. Asari Dokubo have made a very clear and emphatic statement on election boycott, where it works and where it failed. It is left for you to judge. But before I go, I wouldn't go without bringing you this very important video. It is how Southern Sudan were able to secure their independence. Listen to it, and I'll be right back to wrap it up on this edition.
As we speak, pro-Russian separatists are trying to secede from Ukraine. The Kurdish regional government is trying to secede from Iraq, and Scotland has a vote scheduled in September that may result in their seceding from the UK. Secession is in the air, and it brings up an important question. If the people of a particular region want to secede, why can't they? There are a lot of ways you could argue this question, but the simplest answer is this. Dissatisfaction in a nation's leaders, its economy, or its government is not enough to secede. You need much more than that. To illustrate this point, let's look at South Sudan and how they successfully seceded from Sudan in 2011. Sudan has a history of conflict between the Muslim majority in the north and the non-Muslim minority in the sub-Saharan south. It was the South that won the right to secede in 2011. They did this by having an established cultural group and region, a history of being institutionally marginalized, an independent representative system of government, and the economic means to establish and protect their new state without bankrupting the other state through secession. Those last points were earned in the Second Sudanese Civil War, which ended in a peace agreement that formally established a representative body for South Sudan. It also created a plan for oil revenue splitting between North and South, and a plan for federal job sharing countrywide. They also needed to prove that there was no better alternative to secession, a point well made by 50-plus years of conflicts and all-out war in the region. Even then, meeting just those requirements isn't enough. You still need wide support among your cultural group and region. You need comparable support from the nation you're leaving, and you need support from the international community. Luckily for South Sudan, all of that did fall into place, and on July 9, 2011, they won their right to secede after a secession referendum was voted on earlier that month. Almost 99% of registered voters in South Sudan voted for secession, and almost 58% of registered voters in the north voted for it as well. Later that month, the UN officially recognized South Sudan as its own nation. That, in a nutshell, is what you need to secede: a clear culture and region, a history of being marginalized, an organized government, a stable economy, no alternate options for peace, and full support from your group as well as support from the group you're leaving. You also need an endorsement from the international community as a whole.
You have seen it. It is not a rocket science. Southern Sudan, they have exactly the same condition as the Biafran people today in Nigeria. Beginning with the fact that Southern Sudan, they are in the southern part of Sudan, and Northern Sudan, they are in the northern part of Sudan. The Southern Sudan are predominantly Christians, the Northern Sudan are predominantly Muslims. The Southern Sudan, they are the producers of the resources. I mean, the oil deposit in Sudan is found in the Southern Sudan. This is exactly the same and typical situation of Biafrans in Nigeria. The Southern Nigerians, I mean the Biafran people, they are predominantly Christians, while the Northern Nigerians are predominantly Muslims. The resources are deposited in the Southern Nigeria, in Biafran land, just like in the Southern Sudan. And they have been facing serious marginalization from the Northern Sudan, just like the Biafran people are facing the same impunity in Nigeria today. Then, how come these guys were able to secure their freedom after fighting for over 25 years or about 30 years of fighting, bloody warfare? But what did they do? That is exactly what you just watched. You've seen it. I don't want to deliberate too much on that. That is what they did to secure their freedom. Straight on. They were able to define themselves as an ethnic nation. And Biafran people have been able to establish that too, that we are Biafrans. They were able to establish a clear marginalization, which obviously Nnamdi Kanu had done a very wonderful job on that through the media sensitization. Then, the third and the fourth one is where we're getting it wrong. The third and the fourth one is independent or autonomous region within the South Sudan. That is what they did. They were able to secure that. They didn't secure that by protesting. They secured that by engaging in the political process. They defined, just like the Scottish people, just like the Catalonians and all the rest of other people who have done that, they were able to establish a political front. They secured their region autonomously, and they were able to engage in a reasonable economic control of their resources. This is how to get independence. I'm not saying that we're going to go through all that just exactly the way they did, but we should borrow from their strategy and add to what we are doing. If Nnamdi Kanu, my big brother, and other pro-Biafran group leaders actually have Biafra at heart, they should set themselves aside and make Biafra the very project and not themselves. They should project the Biafra agitation and not their individual ego. I think at this point, I've said so far so much, and we all know that the word is enough for the wise. Let the wise listen and increase in wisdom, but let the fool continue to wallow in their folly. But I will tell you one thing: history will justify those who are truthful to Biafra freedom. At this point, I'm wrapping it up. I want you to drop your comment if you have any. Let the discussion continue. And before I go, I'll advise you subscribe to our YouTube channel click on that red button on subscribe. Click on the bell beside it to get notification whenever we upload or whenever we are live. From the description below, you will see our app links, Android, iOS, and Windows. Download them and get all the information at the tips of your finger. You can visit our website for news update, www.bvichannel1.com. Till I come your way, I'll only stay blessed and stay safe. Goodbye.